Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Fort Myers. It is our mission to love, grow, and serve for and with our community. Our Unitarian Universalist faith places love at the center of our shared values, and love is the power that brings us together. We welcome you to join our community of people who love on our own terms, express gender in our own ways, and are a range of sizes and abilities. Here, we strive to share all of our ethnic backgrounds. We ask no questions about your origins or status, and we respect each other's pronouns. We celebrate our differences as we do our similarities. At UUCFM, we practice community as a verb. We draw upon the dynamic aspect of community, emphasizing the actions of engaging with each other and building cooperation. We engage in participation rather than showing up as a static group. Here we are called to radical hospitality for all. And practicing community in this way means that we embrace our whole selves. Here, our shared values weave us into a community that makes us greater than we are individually. If you are seeking a welcoming place to call home, to worship in your own way, to seek truth together, we hope you will find it within our congregation. June marks National Awareness Months for PTSD, safety, men's health, migraines and headaches, and National Papaya Month, among others. June also brings the summer solstice and Father's Day, both on the 21st. On the 19th, we celebrate Juneteenth Freedom Day, commemorating the enforcement of the Emancipation Proclamation ending slavery. Last, but certainly not least, June is recognized as Pride Month, in remembrance of the June 28, 1969 Stonewall Uprising, which ignited the modern LGBTQIA++ liberation movement. I am Andrea Joy, and it is my pleasure to be your worship associate this morning, serving with fellow worship associate Leslie Peterson. Creating beautiful music for us are our music director, John Dalton, our violinist, Leslie Peterson, and our small but mighty choir. Providing sound, lights, and Zoom are our amazing tech team who make this hybrid service, blending live and Zoom attendance possible. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication. If you are attending by Zoom, I am pleased that you are able to join us in the virtual. A reminder to our Zoom family to please remain muted and refrain from using the chat unless you are asked to do so. If you are new to UUCFM, we are so glad you are here. We would love the opportunity to get to know you, and we ask that you fill out a connection card at the welcome table in the narthex If you are joining us online, you will find the link in the chat, in the Zoom chat. Members may also use this card to update contact information or share a caring concern with our pastoral care associates. And now for a call.
Come, you accidental pilgrims, you who find yourself on a journey of surprise and wonder. Come, you who emerge into this place as an act of liberation. Come, you who seek a life of mindfulness and a place to test your thoughts. Come, you who bring hearts of all kinds, heavy hearts, rusty hearts, hearts broken open in revelation, hearts full of love to share. Come, you who seek courage, and you who have more courage than you realize. Come, you who stand behind the curtain, gathering up the resources to claim your truth. Come, you who have been in a bubble, you who are poised for transformation. We begin our story again, gathering courage, love, mindfulness, and a sense of purpose. We gather as people of all ages, of different abilities, different backgrounds, and different perspectives. We share a covenant, a direction for our shared journey, and a commitment to encourage and challenge one another to spiritual growth. This path will ask much from us. Let us move forward with love. Let us move forward with appreciation for one another. Let us move forward knowing we are not alone. Whoever you are, whatever your gifts, you are welcome to join this journey. And now, in that spirit of fellowship and togetherness, we are going to pass the peace for about 2 minutes. So get up and greet your neighbor, hug if you're a hugger, if hugs are welcome to you.
Hi, can you, if you can unmute yourselves, please do. We should be able to talk to each other. I'm going to just start giving you ask to unmutes because that'll help. Hi, John. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Leslie.
Morning.
Morning. Mary, I think you're here too. Okay, somebody's unmuted. This is good.
Margie.
Hi, Margie. How are you?
Oh, I'm working through dizziness and I'm getting physical therapy and it's really helping my balance. So
Well, that's really good. Ditto for me on all of those.
nice to have anyway, balance.
Well, yeah, I mean, I sometimes I'm just shocked when I start to lose my balance in a way that in a situation where I wouldn't have before. But how about the rest of you? I see John and Wendy. Oh, you're muted. Let me see. No,
I thought we were unmuted.
now you're unmuted. Thank you.
Okay, good. I'm trying to get us visible.
Well, you don't necessarily have to be visible because we only have 2 minutes. How are you doing?
Good. Well, very, very busy.
Yeah, I know.
It's
There are-
coming along, but the place looks like we've just taken an egg beater and mixed everything all up.
Well, I have a living room full of boxes.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
We can show you, but we won't.
Maybe later at
Yeah. With you.
our discussion group works.
Yeah, we have 1 week. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I know it's hard.
It's just constant, you have to keep it going and keep it going?
Well, for me, I have to wait until the handmaiden can come and move. I think we're probably going to find ourselves muted. Muted. Yep. Nice to see you all.
As we gather together for worship this morning, being both near and far, we light our chalice as we do each week. It is a symbol of our faith. May its light be a beacon of hope for the many, those who feel lost, those who feel threat, those who feel tired, those who are uncertain. May our beacon of hope help you find home, help you feel safe, give you respite, and honor your searching mind and spirit. And now I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we join together in reciting our covenant. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Ages is The Walrus and the Carpenter. And I asked Jennifer, Nancy, and Lucas to come up and help me tell the story. The Walrus and the Carpenter by Lewis Carroll. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billow smooth and bright. And this was odd because it was the middle of the night. The moon was shining sulkily because she thought the sun had got no business to be there after the day was done.
"It's very rude of him,"
she said,
"to come and spoil the fun."
The sea was wet as wet could be. The sands were dry as dry. You could not see a cloud because no cloud was in the sky. No birds were flying overhead. There were no birds to fly. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand.
If this were only cleared away,
They said,
it would be grand.
If 7 maids with 7 mops swept it for half a year, do you suppose
the walrus said.
that they could get it clear?
I doubt it.
Said the carpenter, and shed a bitter tear.
Oh, oysters, come and walk with us.
The walrus did beseech.
A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk along the briny beach. We cannot do with more than 4 to give a hand to each.
The eldest oyster looked at him, but never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head, meaning to say that he did not choose to leave the oyster bed. But 4 young oysters hurried up, all eager for the treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this was odd because, you know, they hadn't any feet. 4 other oysters followed them, and yet another 4. And thick and fast they came at last, and more and more and more, all hopping through the frothy waves and scrambling to the shore. The walrus and the carpenter walked on a mile or so, and then they rested on a rack conveniently low, and all the little oysters stood and waited in a row.
The time has come,
The walrus said,
to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax, of cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings.
But wait a bit
the oysters cried.
before we have our chat, for some of us are out of breath, and all of us are fat.
No hurry.
Said the carpenter. They thanked him much for that.
A loaf of bread
The walrus said,
is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar besides are very good indeed. And now, if you're ready, oysters dear, we can begin to feed.
But not on us!
the oysters cried, turning a little blue.
After such kindness, that would be a dismal thing to do.
The night is fine.
The walrus said,
Do you admire the view? It was so kind of you to come, and you are so very nice.
the carpenter said nothing but,
Cut us another slice. I wish you were not quite so deaf. I had to ask you twice.
It seems a shame
the walrus said.
to play them such a trick. After all, we've brought them out so far and made them trot so quick.
The carpenter said nothing but,
The butter's too thick.
I weep for you.
the walrus said.
I deeply sympathize.
With sobs and tears he sorted out those of the largest size, holding his pocket handkerchief before his streaming eyes.
Oh, oysters,
Said the carpenter.
you've had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again?
But answer came there none, and this was scarcely odd because they'd eaten every one. Thank you, guys. I'd like to take a moment to bring us back from our story into a centered place of reflection. Take a moment to breathe. Breathe in and fill yourself with peace. Breathe out and let your stresses go. Breathe in and feel the spirit of life surrounding you. Breathe out and know that it is always there. Breathe in and feel the love of community. Breathe out and share it with all those here with you today. Just breathe. Focus on your breaths. Feel the love of your community surrounding you. Feel it like one great big hug. As you breathe in, take that love inside yourself. And as you breathe out, send that loving hug outward to the world. Breathe. Continue to send that love outward. Breathe. As you focus your love to expand the inclusion, remember to include you. To share love, we must know love. And to love oneself is the beginning to loving all. Take another moment to breathe and center on love. Now, as you breathe, bring yourself back to the here of our sanctuary and the now of our time of worship as we return to our service. Open your eyes as you are able. If this is your first time here, we welcome you to join us in our weekly ritual of the Stones of Intention. We share our bond with one another in the sharing of these stones. Here we are able to blend our unique joys and sorrows, prayers for ourselves and others, and intentions for our futures, with those of others in our beloved community. If you have a stone with you this morning, I invite you to hold that stone close, focusing on what you pray for. If you do not already have a stone, you can find one in the baskets next to the bowls of sand. During the musical meditation, we invite you to come forward, choose a stone, and hold it as a prayer or intention. Then place your stone in the bowl of sand. When we place our stones together, we create a visible reminder that our prayers are woven together and that we are connected as community. That connection brings the power of loving and caring. For our virtual attendees, you can place a virtual stone of intention using the Zoom chat box. For the first stone, I would like to place the stone in remembrance of June 19, 1865, when Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas, to enforce the Emancipation Proclamation, the day we celebrate as Juneteenth. May freedom spread throughout this land, overcoming the current wave of fascism we face. And may this freedom finally encompass all people. Come forward and share. I'd like to place the final stone for all the fathers, those who have served the role of father, and those who have had difficult relationships with their fathers. May next weekend's Father's Day be peaceful and joyful.
I'd like to begin by thanking Andrea, Lucas, Nancy, and Jennifer for their very fine recital of the poem by Lewis Carroll. There are some poems we first meet as children and only later discover were waiting for us to grow up. Lewis Carroll's The Walrus and the Carpenter may be one of them. It comes to us dressed in nonsense. A moonlit beach, talking animals, oysters with clean shoes despite having no feet. And that famous invitation to speak of shoes and ships and sailing wax, of cabbages and kings. The poem is playful enough to delight a child, strange enough to lodge in the memory, and dark enough that once we really hear it, it becomes hard to forget. The walrus and the carpenter go walking by the sea. They see a bed of oysters and invite them along for what sounds like a pleasant outing. A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk, says the walrus. The eldest oyster declines, but the younger oysters are eager. They brush themselves up, they hurry out. More and more come along until a whole crowd is following these charming strangers down the beach. Then after a while, the pleasant talk becomes something else. Bread is brought out. Pepper and vinegar are mentioned. The oysters realize too late that they are not guests at the meal. They are the meal. It is a strange little poem, but sometimes the truth arrives wearing nonsense. Before we even meet the walrus, the carpenter, or the oysters, Carroll gives us another image. The poem begins with the sun shining on the sea with all his might, which seems ordinary enough until we are told this is odd because it is the middle of the night. The moon is there too, shining sulkily, and she says the sun has no business to be there after the day was done. This phrase is worth lingering over. No business to be there. The moon is not saying the sun has no place in the world. She is saying that this is not his place, not his hour, not his realm to occupy. The day is done. Night belongs to the moon. But the sun shines anyway with all his might, simply because he can. That opening scene gives us the moral weather of the whole poem. Before the oysters are eaten, the order of things has already been disturbed by entitlement. A powerful presence has entered a space that was not his to claim, and he treats the moon's displeasure as irrelevant. He has no business there, but power often mistakes ability for permission. This is one of the old temptations of power, to believe that because I can enter, I am entitled to enter. Because I can take, I am entitled to take. Because I can speak over you, I am entitled to define the conversation. Carroll was writing in the late Victorian world, just at the edge of what Americans would come to call the Gilded Age. We should note that The Walrus and the Carpenter is not actually a coded sermon about American capitalism, but rather a nonsense poem in a British children's book. But the phrase Gilded Age is useful because gilded does not mean golden all the way through. It means covered with gold. It means polished on the outside. It means there is shine, but the shine might be concealing something underneath. That is the world of the poem. Everything is a kind of polish. The walrus is polite. The carpenter is companionable. The walk is presented as a social occasion. The conversation will be broad and cultured. Shoes, ships, sealing wax, cabbages, and kings. Even the oysters make themselves presentable. Everyone appears to know how to behave. And yet, underneath all that civility is appetite. That may be why the poem still feels contemporary. We know how much harm can be hidden beneath polish. Cruelty does not always arrive looking cruel. Sometimes it arrives beautifully branded. Sometimes it arrives with a mission statement. Sometimes it arrives with a flag, a cross, a slogan, a therapeutic vocabulary, a glossy advertisement, or a very moving speech about how much it cares. The walrus and the carpenter are not dangerous because they are obviously monstrous. They are dangerous because they are charming. The oysters, for their part, are not stupid. I think that matters. It would be easy to make them a punchline of the poem. Those silly, naive oysters. Oysters who should have known better. But that lets us off the hook. The oysters follow because they are offered something many of us would want. They are offered adventure, attention, inclusion, the possibility of being chosen. Most people are not manipulated because they love falsehood. They are manipulated because some part of the falsehood has been attached to a real and worthy longing. The longing to belong is real. The longing for meaning is real. The longing to be noticed is real. The longing to have someone say, "Come walk or roll with us. We have room for you," is real. This is why religious communities have to speak about discernment with compassion. We do not help one another by shaming those who have trusted the wrong voice. We help by asking what made that voice so persuasive in the first place. We help by remembering that all of us, at different times in our lives, have wanted to believe the person who made us feel safe, righteous, safe, or necessary. And in a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we should say this with particular tenderness. Some of us grew up UU, but many of us came from other religious communities. Some came carrying gifts, hymns, stories, ritual, a love of scripture, and some came carrying wounds. Some were taught to fear their own questions. Some were told that doubt was disobedience, that their bodies were shameful, that their love was sinful, that their belonging depended on their silence. Some learned painfully that religious language can be used not to liberate the soul, but to control it. So we have to be careful not to recreate the spiritual arrogance that harmed some of us. We are not here to say, this time we are the ones with the truth and everyone else is deceived. The point is not to replace one unquestionable authority with another. The point is to ask how any community, including our own, can practice trust without coercion, leadership without domination, and belonging without fear. That is what makes discernment different from suspicion. Suspicion says, never trust again. Discernment says, let us learn how trust becomes trustworthy. The Christian tradition has its own language for this. In his second letter to Timothy, Paul issues a warning. For the time will come when they will not tolerate sound doctrine, but wanting to have their ears tickled, they will accumulate for themselves teachers in accordance with their own desires. For Unitarian Universalists, that passage can be tricky. We are not a creedal tradition. Many of us do not speak in the language of sound doctrine the way some Christian traditions do. But I do think that the passage offers a spiritual perspective. It asks us to consider the relationship between desire and belief. Are we seeking what is true or merely what flatters us? Are we drawn toward voices that challenge us into greater love or voices that soothe our appetites and justify our resentments? The walrus knows how to tickle ears. He does not begin with bread, pepper, and vinegar. He begins with pleasant talk. He begins with companionship. He begins with flattery. He says, in effect, "You are special. You should come with us. This will be lovely." By the time the oysters understand the invitation, they have already left the oyster bed behind. A rational humanist tradition approaches the same dangers from another angle. Carl Sagan was deeply concerned about charlatans, not only because they deceive, but because deception becomes harder to escape the longer we live it. Once people have been fooled for long enough, it becomes painful to admit they've been fooled. The falsehood becomes part of the self. The charlatan gains power not merely over our ideas, but over our pride, our belonging, our sense of who we are. Sagan's answer was not cynicism. It was disciplined humility. He urged people to seek independent confirmation, to welcome serious debate, to distrust unsupported authority, to consider more than one explanation, and to ask whether a claim can be tested. He was trying to give people tools for freedom. A mind that can ask good questions is harder to capture. This is where nuance becomes part of discernment. Morally urgent moments often leave little patience for nuance. When people are suffering, calls for nuance can sound like evasion or delay. And sometimes people appeal to nuance because they are reluctant to face the cost of change. But nuance at its best asks us to slow down and see more clearly. In this congregation, some of us may remember a previous minister who often said, "It's complicated." There you go. And she meant it in a good and faithful way. She meant that life is rarely as simple as our first reactions or slogans would make it seem. People are complicated. Grief is complicated. Justice, communities, and even love itself are often complicated. To say it's complicated can be a way of slowing down enough to explore the truth more fully. That is the kind of nuance I mean. The nuance that belongs to discernment is not the refusal to take a stand. It is the discipline of taking a stand with both conviction and humility. It asks us to hold more than one reality at the same time. That a moral vision may be sound, even when the way we pursue it is flawed. That a leader may speak important truth and still need accountability. That our opponents may be wrong without being monsters. That our own side may be morally serious without being immune to ego, simplification, or harm. Without nuance, discernment collapses into sorting. Good people and bad people, pure movements and corrupt movements, brave slogans and cowardly questions. But human beings are almost always more complicated than that. And so are the systems we are trying to change. Nuance slows us down just enough to ask better questions. Not so slowly that we never act, but slowly enough that an action has a chance of becoming wise. Various religious traditions add their own wisdom here. Buddhism asks us to notice the way craving can cloud perception. The Jewish prophetic tradition asks us who is being harmed by the arrangements the powerful call normal. Jesus says that we will know teachers by their fruits. Not by their charisma, not by their confidence, not by how beautifully they speak. More whole, but by what grows from their lives. Do people become more free, more whole, more truthful, more compassionate? Or are there fewer oysters at the end of their walk? That question matters because the most disturbing figure in Carol's poem is not the bluntly greedy carpenter. It is the weeping walrus. The carpenter is ordinary complicity. He does not need a story as long as there's something to eat. The walrus is more complicated. He appears to feel something. I weep for you, he says. I deeply sympathize. But even as he weeps, he sorts out the oysters of the largest size. His sympathy does not interrupt his appetite. His tears do not change his behavior. He feels badly, but not badly enough to stop. That may be one of the sharpest moral insights in the poem. Sentiment is not the same as compassion. Remorse is not the same as repair. Feeling sorry is not the same as doing justice. We have many modern versions of the walrus. A company can release a moving advertisement about community while paying workers too little to live with dignity. A spiritual teacher can use the language of healing while demanding loyalty or secrecy. A social media personality can name real pain and then funnel that pain toward conspiracy, contempt, or profit. And more tenderly, we can see how this dynamic can appear even in communities trying very hard to do good. A congregation can sincerely say, all are welcome, and still need to ask whether that welcome has become tangible enough for people to truly feel at home. That is not a condemnation, but part of the ongoing spiritual work of becoming the beloved community we long to be. Beloved community is not something we achieve once and then possess forever. It is something we keep choosing. Indeed, inclusion is not a finish line that a congregation crosses once and then checks off the list. It is a living practice. It is made and remade in greetings, in budgets, in accessibility, in whose stories are centered, in who gets to lead, and in whether people feel not merely permitted to enter, but cherished when they arrive. The work of inclusion asks for grace, not perfection, courage, not defensiveness, and covenant, not performance. This is also true of slogans. A slogan can awaken conscience, gathering scattered grief into a common cry. But a slogan can also run the risk of getting ahead of a shared understanding of its meaning. It can become a badge of belonging, where repeating the phrase feels more important than wrestling with the difficult questions behind it. One example from recent progressive life is the phrase, defund the police. I want to speak about that carefully, because the grief and anger beneath the slogan were real. After the murder of George Floyd, many people were trying to name urgent truths about police violence, racial injustice, over-policing, and the fact that we often ask armed officers to respond to questions rooted in poverty, addiction, mental illness, homelessness, and despair. At its best, the slogan pointed toward an important question. What would happen if we invested more deeply in mental health care, housing, schools, violence prevention, restorative justice, addiction treatment, and community-based safety? That question still matters, But not everyone understood the intent behind the slogan's words. To some people, defund meant reallocating resources towards other forms of public safety. To others, it sounded like eliminating policing altogether or abandoning communities already afraid of violence. The intention behind the words mattered, and the way the words we heard mattered. A nuanced response would neither dismiss the slogan nor demand unquestioning agreement with it. It would ask what is actually being proposed, which funds, which services, which communities, what safeguards, who is most at risk if the system stays the same, and who might be at risk if changes are made carelessly. How will we know whether people are safer? If a slogan points toward an important truth, then clarity about its meaning becomes part of the work. Questions like these help bridge the gap between the intention behind a slogan and the way in which it is heard. They are the kinds of questions love must ask when love wants to become policy. That perhaps is the Unitarian Universalist lesson in all of this. Not that we should avoid bold speech. There are times when polite language becomes its own form of evasion. The lesson is that we are called to bring our whole selves to the work. Heart, mind, conscience, humility, evidence, courage, and care for the consequences. We do not have to choose between prophetic urgency and practical wisdom. Love requires both. And yet there's another temptation waiting for us on the other side of disappointment or disillusionment. After being misled, manipulated, or wounded, it can be tempting to retreat into suspicion. Trust no one, follow no one, stay forever in the oyster bed. There's wisdom in caution, and the eldest oyster deserves our respect. There are times when the holiest word is no. But discernment is not the same thing as fear. The goal is not to become people who can no longer be moved, persuaded, or invited, but rather to become people who know how to trust wisely and well. In these uncertain times, our Unitarian Universalist tradition can help point us toward a steadier path, one rooted in covenant. We are a people who promise to journey together, even when the way is difficult. At our best, we bring reason and reverence into the same room. We place love at the center, and because our relationships are at the heart of who we are, love asks difficult questions. Who benefits from this invitation? Who is being asked to trust without evidence? Are the most vulnerable people becoming more free, or are they becoming food for someone else's dream? And perhaps the hardest question of all, where am I, the walrus? Where have I been so certain of my good intentions that I fail to consider the consequences? Where have I followed the charming voice before asking where the walk was leading? Because that is the deeper tragedy at the heart of the poem. The walrus and the carpenter speak the language of relationship while abandoning the responsibilities that relationship requires. They speak as companions, but they treat others as consumables. Our calling must be different. Discernment without repair leaves us with insight, but no transformation. Repair is how love responds once the truth has been seen. We are called to become people who can hold conviction and humility together, people who can welcome complexity without surrendering moral clarity, people who can speak boldly while still asking difficult questions about power, consequence, and who may be harmed along the way. And so, as we continue to journey together, may we practice nuance, not to escape moral clarity, but to deepen it. May we learn how to trust wisely, love deeply, and remain willing to repair what has been broken. And when the time comes to talk of many things, may we walk or roll together in such a way that no one disappears from the shore. Amen and blessed be.
As Unitarian Universalists, our shared values put love at the center of everything that we do. Among those values of justice and equity also lies generosity. With love at our center, we ask ourselves how we can make our values more evident by our behaviors. In this congregation, we ask the questions of what can we do to help the people who are most vulnerable? What community organizations can we help? Who and how can we assist in doing their work for those who are in need? As Leslie said, there are the kinds of questions love must ask when love wants to become policy. At UUCFM, it is our policy of love to share our offerings with designated community sharing partners. Each of those sharing partners serves special communities. This month, our cash sharing partner is the Coalition of Immokalee Workers. CIW is a worker-based human rights organization internationally recognized for its achievements in the fields of social responsibility, human trafficking, and gender-based violence at work. Their Fair Food program is a partnership that benefits everyone in the supply chain: workers, growers, retailers, consumers. Because the program's unique approach, farm workers can confidently report issues without fear. They work together to support farm workers confronting human rights abuses including systematic wage theft, sexual harassment, health and safety violations, and in the most extreme cases, modern-day slavery in Florida's tomato fields. As part of our loving expression of generosity, you can determine where you would like your funds to serve by indicating it on your check or envelope or in the drop-down menu if you are donating electronically. All loose funds in the collection will be donated to our sharing partner. If you don't already have an envelope and you wish to show support for UUCFM directly, envelopes can be found at the end of the pews. Unmarked envelopes will be designated for UUCFM. Loose dollars and change to our sharing partner.
Let us love, let us serve, let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love, let us serve, let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love one another. Let us serve one another. Let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love one another. Let us serve one another. Let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love one another. Let us serve one another. Let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love one another. Let us serve one another. Let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love one another. Let us serve one another. Let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love one another. Let us serve one another. Let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love one another. Let us serve one another. Let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love one another. Let us serve one another. Let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love. Let us serve. Let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love. Let us serve. Let us honor one another. Yes, so let us love.
Thank you. And now, let us say our words of gratitude. By the work of our hands and the work of our hearts, our love is made real. May we be grateful for all that is given and grateful for all that is shared. As we extinguish our chalice, we do not extinguish the beacon of hope. We do not cease to shine that beacon. We continue to glow so that others may find us. And let us say our words of extinguishing. Extinguish our chalice, the warmth of commitment, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
On the road from
travel with open minds, compassionate hearts, and courageous spirits. May we seek the truth with humility, practice love with intention, and journey together in ways that honor the dignity of all. May we have the wisdom to discern, the courage to repair, and the grace to grow. Go in peace. Amen, and blessed be.
And a couple of housekeeping notes. It would help if I got to them. Another way we express our value of generosity is by supporting non-monetary community sharing partners. This month we support the South Fort Myers Food Pantry Coalition. Their mission is to feed the needy of South Fort Myers area, including Sanibel and Captiva. The pantry works in partnership with the Harry Chapin Food Bank and Midwest Food Bank and is supported by churches and organizations in South Fort Myers which provide funds, food, and volunteers in service to the community. The congregation can help by providing canned goods and basic paper products or volunteering on Monday mornings or evenings at Cypress Lake Presbyterian Church. Join us for coffee and conversation after the service in Hobart Hall to your right as you leave the sanctuary. We would love to share our community and friendship with you. Next Sunday, there will be no service in the sanctuary, but we will be gathering in Hobart Hall for the streaming of the UUA General Assembly worship service. This is our annual opportunity to mark a special time of worship shared with UU congregations around the world. At 10:30 a.m., they will have a shared community sing, and then at 11 a.m., Sunday worship will begin. The service is expected to run 90 minutes until 12:30. Please feel free to bring snacks to share. Details for accessing the feed from home will be able to be found in this week's bulletin email or on the UUA website, uua.org, for those who wish to watch from home. There will be no Zoom, just the UUA streaming. Since the 21st would normally have been Potluck Sunday, the potluck has been rescheduled to the 28th. After Leslie and I leave the sanctuary, please greet your neighbors and join us in Hobart Hall. Blessed be.